Hi, I'm Ernie.
Hi, I'm Alex.
Alex and I are working on Jara, just another recipe app.
So the idea with this is that it's a simple, no nonsense recipe app.
Are you sure? I thought it was a simple, no-nonsense recipe with a meal plan.
It could be a simple, no nonsense recipe app with a meal planner and a shopping list.
That sounds good.
Let's have a look at what we've done so far. So this is the app. It's a list of recipes. You can also search for recipes. So let's see if I want a fajita. We have one, and it's not even a fajita; it's a salad. Okay. The favourites, the meal plan, and the shopping list are reserved for users that are signed up. Okay, so let's log in.
So when it comes to authorization, we decided to go along with Firebase, as it was quite easy to. Well, it wasn't easy at all. It's quite nice that it implemented everything. So not only can we log in with Google and Facebook, you can also do email and password. The sign up function was quite straightforward and easy. And also as well, you're able to forget the password, which would give you an email link. So it's knitted together. It's quite a nice sort of package that came with the app.
Okay, I'm going to sign in with Google. Okay, so I've signed in with Google. And now we have access to favourites, a meal plan, and a shopping list as well. One of the first things that we did when we started actually writing the code was to implement a add recipe form, because we need to start getting recipes into the database. Okay, so I'm going to add chicken tacos, and what you can do is you can tag a recipe as well, and the tag will be displayed in a badge on the recipe page, and it's something that you can search for as well. So I might put easy, spicy, image URL. So we don't actually have the ability to upload your own images at the moment. It's just you enter a URL of an existing image. Yield, one for me, one for Ernie. 2 calories, because they're not real. And 2 minutes to bake. Okay, ingredients. Chicken, but I'm lazy, so it's going to be chicken tacos. 1 chicken tacos, and the method is eat. This is a really cool feature actually. It's a rich text editor, so you could have eat, enjoy. In fact, we'll do eat, enjoy, and that's step 1, eat. Step 2, enjoy. Okay, I'm happy with that. Save it. Okay, so there's the recipe that we added, and because I'm the user that added the recipe, I also have the option to edit it or delete it. So we'll just delete that because it's complete nonsense.
So under the meal plan heading, it gives you the option to do a 7-day in advance, allowing you to choose any recipe from the database, or as you've seen before, you could add your own recipe, and the search functionality allows you to use that also, as Alex will demonstrate here.
Yeah, let's search for chicken karahi.
And also as well, later on, if you do a couple of days in, come across it and you feel like that's not what I want, it's easy enough to change or just remove it.
Yeah, we'll remove that. We don't want that today or Thursday. Okay, so whatever we add to the meal plan, it will then generate a shopping list around the ingredients for those recipes. So if we go check out the shopping list, you can see we've got all the ingredients needed for each of the recipes laid out in checkboxes.
Regarding the shopping list, as you can see, there's a different header for each recipe title. We did actually want it to be just one shopping list. So as you see, if they both needed carrots, it would add that together and then just give you carrots and the total amount needed, rather than having separate headings.
Yeah, we just
one
ran out
of
of
them
time, didn't we?
We just ran out of time, yeah.
Yeah.
But it'd be for version 2. We've got a few other ideas for version 2.
Okay, and then another thing that isn't really finished, but it's got something in here, and this is like a basic kind of admin page for the user. So you'll have a list of any recipes that you've added to the site. From here, you can view them or you can edit them.
And we did also talk about connecting, so users could connect together and then have access to each other's sort of personalized cookbook, sharing recipes and just commenting on each other's recipe, just to try and build a community, just to get a little bit more exciting and enjoyable cooking food.
Yeah, we need a bit more time for that though, I think.
Yeah, more than 4 weeks.
Okay, shall we have a look at how exactly we went about making this?
Yep.
When we decided that we were going to do the recipe app, we spent the first, I can't remember, it was either 1 or 2 weeks.
I think it was 2 weeks.
Feels like 2 weeks, yeah. Just doing research and planning. So one of the first things that we did is we set up a Trello board. And first of all, we added really simple user stories just to get an idea of the functionality. And then once we had those, we then made tickets for each feature that we wanted in the app.
Yeah, and this was great to see because I don't use any of this in sort of my place of work. So just to be involved in this, it felt like a workplace, was able to easily interact, see what our next target was, move it along. It just flowed really nice. And I think putting that effort in really helped at the beginning.
Yeah, no, it definitely did.
Once we were happy with everything we set out on Trello, we then moved on to the front end development. This all started with Figma, which again, with the Trello, we spent a good couple of weeks just planning everything, making sure we never really worried too much about color schemes or anything to start with. It was just more the layout, mobile and sort of website, which was brilliant because not only did, if you had them late night coding sessions, we didn't have to communicate with each other. You could just carry on because you could just pull up Figma, knowing exactly what it had to look like, where things were in place, which saved a lot of time in the end, really.
Yeah.
And as it developed, as the weeks rolled on, then we sort of introduced the color and sort of the fine tuning. And as you can see, it changed into this. And I think the app represents what we laid out from the beginning, just to prove that it was time well spent.
Okay. So once we finalized the look and feel in Figma and we had the mock-ups, we then needed to recreate that in React. I started with a custom CSS framework using Sass, which was basically predefined colors, reusable classes, things for like padding, margins, text size, text colors, flexbox, things to make the development a lot quicker.
Yeah, it was handy, wasn't it? Just know you knew everything, the color scheme, just put it in. There was no worrying about it. It was there. I still carried on a little bit using CSS over Sass because it's just something I hadn't really practiced in, but it was still nice to see it working, and we brought the two together and it came out okay.
Yeah. And that was really early on as well. That was one of the first things that we did. And once we had that, we created a small custom UI component library, and this was the things that we'd mocked up in Figma already. It was buttons, form inputs, badges, cards, all the things that kind of make up the app that we can reuse.
There's another time saver, wasn't it? We put a little bit of effort in to start with.
I think that was a week just doing that,
yeah.
but then after that, it kind of it flew, didn't it?
Yeah, you could just pull it in, can you? It was there ready.
Yeah. Okay, backend. Well, originally we wanted to use an existing API. We were thinking recipe APIs. There must be loads of them for free. Well, we couldn't find anything that was suitable for what we wanted to do. So we thought, right, we'll make our own. After doing some research on the rich text editor that we wanted to use, we realised we're going to need something that can hold sizable JSON objects and be able to search and retrieve them easily, which led us to MongoDB. I don't really know too much about it. I know enough that I've got it working.
We didn't cover that in class, did we? We just thought, chuck another thing in that we can cover in 4 weeks.
We could have used MySQL for this, but it seems that MongoDB is more suited to it. And then for the API, we used Node.js and Express, and we just worked on what we'd already done in the lectures. Made a really simple, really basic API. Okay, hosting. So the front end is hosted on Heroku, on their free tier, which is perfectly fine for us. So we could host it somewhere else, but the best thing about Heroku is the automatic deployment from GitHub. So it detects that there's been a new commit and it deploys it automatically. The backend is hosted on a cheap VPS from Ionos. So that's running the MongoDB in a Docker container, and the Express app is running natively with PM2 monitoring it. Okay, so that's it. That's just another React app.
I don't think there's anything else. I think we covered everything there, haven't we? It's just...
Let's just say thank you to everybody at Manchester Codes.
Yeah, it's been good. And the cohort. And I'd like to give
really
a massive thank you out to yourself, Alex, because...
Oh, thanks, Ernie.
You've really... some of the stuff you've done yourself, I've learned so much from it. And it's been brilliant. I tell you,
It's been really good.
Yeah, just a massive thank you. It's been really good.